The CME Gap Kid is back because the Bitcoin CME Gap has officially closed, which is absolutely amazing. You can see that Bitcoin has went all the way up to $16,800 on the CME chart, closing the CME Gap that took Bitcoin almost 3 weeks to close, which is kind of unbelievable. The last time this happened was when we created a gap between 114 and 115, and it took Bitcoin roughly 3 weeks to come to the downside and go ahead and close that CME gap. So the CME gap is closed. We mentioned that that would happen if Bitcoin is to hold above 13.4 on yesterday's video. Amazing. I think that deserves a like button. So if you haven't liked this video already, it would mean the world if we can destroy the like button. That would be amazing. But apart from that, apart from Bitcoin, which I'll go into my analysis what I expect personally will happen next, we saw one of our altcoins, which I've been super bullish on this channel, on the Moonshow channel, and that altcoin is Ondo Finance, breaking above the huge bullish pennants that it was forming on the 4-hourly time frame, like we said it would over on Moonshow. And I think we spoke about it on the Crypto Kid channel too. So I'm very happy. When I checked my portfolio on Ondo Finance, I was super happy this morning. I just love the tokenization aspect. They tokenized over $100 million TVL, or they did TVL of over $100 million in just 1 week of tokenization. They tokenized over 100 different stocks. I like the concept. I think this concept will emerge and grow into the United States government doing their own tokenization. The NASDAQ is looking into doing that. BlackRock is looking into doing that. I think Ondo Finance did a very, very, very good pilot program of what the future of equities trading will look like, which will be 24/7, round-the-clock trading, ownership in a way, hopefully that you actually own the stock. Currently what Ondo does is it does an ETF structure where the tokenized stock follows the price of the actual stock via Chainlink Oracle that takes off-chain data and puts it on-chain. Someday, I just really hope that people can truly own shares of a company stock and keep it and self-custody it like what you can do with crypto. That time is still not come yet, but I think Ondo Finance did a good pilot program. Regardless, the token is doing well. I'm going to consider opening long positions on weeks if we can see a retest from the 1.02 level, and then long it to Valhalla in this upcoming altcoin season that I want to briefly talk about. But so far, I'm happy with my current positionings. Ondo is doing great. For those of you that are wondering, okay, Ondo saw a pump. What do you think, Crypto Kid? What do you think personally can be a potential token that can also do well leading into altcoin season, where I think it's going to be initiated as soon as we break above this total 3 crypto cap chart, which excludes Ethereum and Bitcoin. When we break above the resistance of this ascending continuation triangle, I think we're going to see a very large surge on the total 3 crypto cap, catch up with Bitcoin, do the Bitcoin catch up trade, reach the 1.7, $1.8 trillion range, and fall below 55% of the Bitcoin dominance. I think that's going to be true altcoin season. That's not happening yet. We're at the resistance. If we can break above, the expansionary phase is going to begin. And I think things like Chainlink, things like Solana, things like Ethereum, things like BNB can experience further moves to the upside. I don't think this altcoin season is going to be like the previous one. I think the rates can be cut to 3.5% next year. I think the quantitative easing cycle will begin, but I just don't see the same amount of economic stimuli being injected into the economy like what we got in the previous cycle. So maybe not a 20 to 30x on some of our favorite coins, but I do see Chainlink breaking above the prior all-time high, following a very similar bullish pennant structure, not on the 4-hourly time frame, but on the more important weekly time frame. Chainlink was at $50 in the previous cycle, and Chainlink did absolutely nothing in the previous cycle. Now it's working with ICE markets. It's working with Ondo Finance to do those tokenizations. It's on the White House crypto report. It's doing a lot of things, and I think Chainlink can break above, go beyond $50, and an exact price target I can't obviously give you, but I wouldn't be shocked if Chainlink were to reach the around $80 price level. So Chainlink is in my portfolio. I'm going to be considering to go derivatives long if Chainlink is to break above this resistance. I just bought some spot Chainlink right before this video. If you're looking for a place to be trading, obviously you can go to the link in the description down below for weeks. If you want to support the channel, by signing up to weeks, you can get up to a $30,000 in bonus with that link specifically. So Chainlink looks great. I really like Solana. Solana pushed through $240 today. Some people are expecting a $1,300 Solana this cycle. I really believe that's so difficult. They're making the mistake of calculating the height of this cup and handle and putting it above the breakout zone, but they're doing that on the logarithmic scale. Look, you can even get like a $6,000 Solana. You need to exit log scale and go to automatic mode and do the calculation properly. And the proper calculation is by going from the lowest point of price action to the height, right? On average, it's going to be around there. Then putting that above those prior highs, and that's going to give you about a $500 Solana, which is very doable in my opinion, because that is only a 12% increase from where the price of Solana is today. And that's going to bring you to the catch-up trade with Bitcoin approximately and the total crypto market cap. Like I said, I don't expect 10x's, 20x's, 30x's, but 200%, 300% on some of these large caps. I don't think it's a far-fetched idea, and that's how I'm placing my personal money. Then when it comes to Ethereum, Ethereum saw a breakout of also a bullish pennant symmetrical triangle. Benjamin Cohen has this idea that Bitcoin will see the final leg to the upside, and then we're going to see a final asset rotation from altcoins to Bitcoin as we print a potential new Bitcoin high. And then in October, we see altcoin season. So according to him, Ethereum can drop down to 4K, 3.4K. I would be prepared for a potential scenario like that. My positionings on weeks are prepared for that. It's fine. If we do see a drop, I'm going to be buying more Ethereum. And that's the sole reason, because that's a very probable scenario. I'm not adding to my Ethereum long position significantly. And I'm not going leveraged massive long into these coins. I have my existing trades, which I will scale them up in October. But so far, I'm not doing any crazy long positioning. I'm just waiting with the trades that I have and eyeing for October, which is also the probable time from a Bitcoin cycle perspective, or October, late October, November time, when altcoin season truly kicks off. I don't want to also stay in the sidelines, so I still want to have some money in them, which I do, but the actual real derivatives longing for me is going to take place in those later months of the year. The final altcoin before we get into Bitcoin is BNB. BNB, massive inverse and shoulder structure. We spoke about this for the past 1.5 months. We talked about the breakout. We talked about the retest that happened there. Target is still 1,250. Congrats if you were able to jump into long positions over on BNB. When it comes to Bitcoin, Bitcoin did what we said. So we mentioned that if Bitcoin was to stay above 13.4, consistently, the target would be the CME gap, which Bitcoin was able to close. But what is next? Unfortunately, we were not able to create a higher high, reversing the trend. So that's my warning sign. I'm still in all of my Bitcoin long positions. I spoke about it over on the Moon Show Daily Crypto Live just about an hour ago. But the moment when I start opening and adding to my DCA longs that we opened on these videos from 77 onwards, is if we can flip this level and then we continue up. I know I said I would add if we break below 13.4 consistently. I know. I said it. But look, I just want to be a bit more conservative here, since we got so many beautiful DCA long positions from 77 to 87. I don't want to FOMO into a position. We're in a position of power here, and I don't want to FOMO into an unnecessary position where I lose unnecessarily money. So if I can see a break above that prior CME, then I would be anticipating all-time highs. If we break those all-time highs, which I would expect if we break below the CME chart, I would expect a 135 to 140K Bitcoin, maybe a stretch to 150, and then the Bitcoin bull market is over and we see that rotation into altcoins. So guys, that's how I'm standing with my analysis. We have the FOMC meeting in exactly 5 days' time. This is going to be super important, massively important. Over the next 5 days, we will talk about it in more detail, so stay tuned. Make sure you're subscribed. Make sure you destroy the like button. Guys, have a wonderful rest of your Friday. Have a wonderful weekend. We're going to be here on the weekend. We upload every single day, regardless if it's a weekend or not. And yeah, enjoy. Touch some grass tomorrow. Low volatilities on Saturdays. And I'll see you all on the next update video. Take care and bye-bye.